At a migration business in Melbourne's western suburbs, Border Force officers are looking for evidence. It's an outfit aimed at a large and lucrative market in South Asia of people who want to live and work in Australia. But the company, Yabs Migration Services, is under investigation for charging Indians and Pakistanis huge sums of money for visas they never got.
Completely pissed off. Nothing was there. And I lost my hard money.
Trapped, shocked, baffled away. Like we are struggling like anything here.
And the man behind Yabs Migration is Avnish Bhardwaj. Bhardwaj came to Australia in 1999. Since then, he's become a prominent member of Victoria's Indian community. Amongst other things, he founded the so-called Australian Premier Cricket League. Here, in the blue jacket, he's presenting a cheque for $25,000 to last season's winners. He has a number of businesses ranging from recruitment to business broking and safety deposit boxes.
Very well done.
He founded this Hindu temple in an industrial estate in Hoppers Crossing, right across the road from his migration business, Yabs. We came here today hoping to find Avnish Bhardwaj, but the place, which was Yabs Migrants Consultancy, seems to be abandoned now. The landlord let us in though, and he's allowed us to have a look around at what Avnish was doing here. It seems that this was probably his office, and as you can see from the photo montage here, he had some pretty interesting connections. There's photos of Avnish with Tony Abbott, Kevin Andrews, Michael Kroger. From the world of sport, you've got Steve Waugh, Glenn McGrath, Warney, of course. Bhardwaj likes posing alongside the rich and powerful, and it's that aura of fame that has encouraged would-be migrants in India to trust him.
I mean, if I want to get settled in Australia, I won't invest a single penny on a person unless he has a good market credibility. So when we are watching this, this is creating a big picture for us. And we create a picture in our mind that this person has something genuine contacts.
When people like Vipin Sharma, Mohit Katyan and Amit Sharma applied for jobs advertised online by Yabs, Bhardwaj's company quoted them a fee of roughly $30,000. They paid up, believing the visa would follow, but it never did.
He came to India. He told me that we can get a visa within 3 to 4 months. Maximum you will get your visa within 4 months.
He promised me the same thing. If you are not getting your visa, then I am gonna give you all the money back. Exactly, all the money.
The three men live and work in New Delhi, but hoped for a new life in Australia. Amit ended up paying more than $50,000, but more than 2 years passed and no visa. So Amit says he asked Bhardwaj for his money back.
He promised me in a soft copy also that he will refund all the money. Now, if I am contacting him, so he banned my number.
So he's blocked you?
He blocked me. And he is not contacting me at all.
The owner of a printing company told 730 that he did apply to sponsor Amit through Yabs, but that Avnish Bhardwaj eventually told him the application was rejected. However, Bhardwaj did not tell Amit Sharma that.
He is continuously making me fool for more than 3 years.
Mohit Katyan met Bhardwaj in India in 2014. Like Amit, he paid thousands of dollars for a visa. But by late 2016, when it still hadn't come through, he reached the end of his tether.
And then one day, I went to his office in Delhi, and then I shouted, "What is happening actually? What is this? What is my status? Can you show me the anything on Australian immigrant website?"
So Bhardwaj sent him a screenshot, ostensibly showing Mohit's application was underway. On it, he found a code that gave him access to the department's visa website.
And on that day, I found that my visa was refused in December in 2016, and in January, he took more than almost $2,000 from me. He said, "Ki you need to lodge another file which his name is."
Bhardwaj had genuinely submitted Mohit's application, but it was rejected for lack of documentation Mohit said he never knew was needed. We spoke to the employer. He didn't want to appear on camera, but he told us he'd never heard of Moet. In 2015, Bhardwaj asked his cousin Vipin Sharma to be his contact point in New Delhi for people replying to Yab's job ads.
I was not aware that eventually I will become a victim.
In 2016, Vipin says Bhardwaj asked him if he also wanted to settle in Australia.
He was asking about somewhere around 28,000 Australian dollars, or maybe more than that. I mean, 28,000 Australian dollars is the figure which I have given to him till now. So in INR, it was like somewhere around 18 lakh rupees that he asked to get settled in Australia with visa for 57, and after 2 years you will get the permanent residency as well. I said okay. Then I said,
Vipin borrowed some money and handed it over for his visa, but after 9 months it hadn't arrived.
There was a day when I made a final phone call to Avnish in Australia. The moment I called and asked for a refund, Avnish started using the abusing language and then said, whatever you want to do. I won't give you a single penny.
7:30 has spoken to the employer named on Vipin Sharma's paperwork. He met Avnish Bhardwaj at the Hindu temple, but he says he never asked him to source any employees. The experiences of Amit, Vipin and Moet are only a few of many similar stories that we've been told. In Melbourne, members of the Pakistani community are also angry at Bhardwaj.
I actually visited office there many times, so far maybe 20-25 times I remember around that. And every time I went there, they say, okay, because Avnish is not here.
Yeah, we're trying to speak to some Asghar Khan has tried to contact Avnish Bhardwaj in Melbourne on behalf of his brother-in-law Sohail, who's in Pakistan. Without the visa, he says Yabs promised to get him several years ago.
It's totally unprofessional.
Sohail says Bhardwaj never bothered to tell him, but his visa was rejected in the middle of last year.
So we contact them and we said, look, now it's totally all finished. So we paid you $35,000. It's all you wasted over 2 years, and we got nothing. So just refund our money. And after that, he just cut my call and blocked my number.
We asked Avnish Bhardwaj how many of his customers have got visas, but he declined to respond.
There are an unlimited number of employer-sponsored visas, an uncapped number, and that employer-sponsored migration is largely unregulated by the Department of Immigration.
Migration lawyer Sanmati Verma says Australia's skilled visa system leaves the door open for incompetent and unscrupulous operators, where excessive fees are charged to trusting applicants.
The base application charges range from about $2,000 to about $3,000 or $4,000. So one would have to assume that the remainder or the great majority of that amount of money is being used towards the professional fees of these agents, which just on the face of it seems excessive.
Avnish Bhardwaj didn't answer any of our questions about how he runs his business or why Yabs is now in the authorities' sights. When we started investigating Avnish Bhardwaj late last year, we approached Australian Border Force. They told us they were looking into Yabs migration, but asked us to hold our story to avoid alerting him to their investigation. That investigation has now come to a head. Earlier this month, Border Force raided Yabs' offices.
So even though Border Force investigators have been here and have seized documents and files, you can still see some of the traces left of the migrant consultancy business that Avnish Bhardwaj was running. In this room, there are beds and bedding. It's possible people were sleeping here.
Border Force has told 7:30 it is still investigating Yabs, both over its activities and possible fraudulent claims on its website. It's keen to speak to anyone who has used the company's services or been involved with it. His angry clients know what they want.
We need a justice.
And I'm pretty sure after watching this interview, there are a lot of other people, those who have invested for visa for 57.
They will definitely join us.